starting the recording. We're checking out Vistra AI Energy Play. Let me clean up the charts a bit. I actually prefer CEG of Vistra, but let's see.
Valid.
Because the balance sheet of CEG looks better, but you know, certain things you can trade, so I'm not sure what's happening here on your side. Yeah,
Yeah,
me.
I don't think I could do CG. That's like consolidated energy, right? Yeah, I don't think I could do that one.
Yeah, I think it's called Constellation Energy. Yeah.
Constellation, yeah.
Yeah. Let me see what's happening here. Let me analyze this a bit. Okay, we put in the bottom right here on that capitulation.
Like 112 is probably the bottom around there. I'm
Yeah,
tripping.
like over here was 90, but yeah, if you check the hold of the uptrend here, it starts to reclaim it, and then now we break out of the all-time highest trend line right here. This that breakout formation. What I want to see is maybe a little bit more consolidation here, because this 124 level is very critical. A push above 124 here sends you straight to 136. That's why I don't have another key level in this middle right here, because 132 should be resistance, but normally it pushes right through. You see right here, straight break into it. Here it tested it to become support, so clearly this is resistance, but what do we see over here? Break right through it. So it's not really much of a tested resistance enough for me to claim it on 130. But yeah, push above 130, reclaim 137. Let me look at it on the weekly. Let me start from higher time frame and see what is happening. Of course, I have trust in my 13 EMA on the monthly. If we check the inception of Vistra on the monthly, he's always held the 13 as support, held it as support over here, holding as support currently. 117 is a minimum hold for the month. If you check the RSI showing strength is above the 50. And if you check the MACD, we are not curling lower. We have lower volume on momentum, but however, we are still looking strong. Let me move this. Actually, this is the hourly line. That's why. Alright, so now let's look at it on the week. If you look at it on the week, yes, it's holding that trend line support. We had a capitulation moment, but what did we have over here? Another tweezer bottom, similar to what we've seen in Tesla. Put in the bottom, shoulder, left, right shoulder, head and shoulder pattern. Breaking resistance right here. Right, so yeah, that 130 resistance is actually valid on the weekly. Let me mark it. Yeah, right here. Why did I just mark that? I'm gonna zoom in a bit. Let me show you. Here was previous resistance, came previous support, resistance, breaking of that resistance here. So I expect maybe a retest of 125, and then have further resistance at 132, break above 132 to 137, and then we massively break higher. So yeah, Vistra does look good for that head and shoulders pattern. By the time it gets above 130, 132, the MACD should probably cross on the weekly. If you check the RSI too, you're having a double bottom on here. So
1, 2, yeah.
yeah, everything's starting to come together for Vistra. Look at it on the daily chart. It's a bit messy. Give me 1 second. Yeah, so this is the all-time high trend line, which we broke. This is the support line, which we are holding. We are breaking resistance on the daily. So if you see on the daily too, it shows you clearly a retest of 125 again. Right here. Break higher to 132, 136. Yeah, the move looks very good. But it gets even exciting if it's able to get above 138 right here. If you look in this area here where I'm about to highlight, right here in the zone, what do you see? Massive price swings, but ultimately it breaks higher. So if it can hold here, it can really go back to 160. But we would need to see a bigger momentum coming in.
Yep.
So yeah, this looks
And the
good.
earnings is not next week, but
Next 2 weeks, yeah.
May
Let
7th. May
Let's see.
7th.
On the bad news, where can we pull back to? On the massive bad news, I probably want us to hold 116. 116 minimum to hold. If it 116 doesn't hold, I wouldn't touch this name. Why wouldn't I touch this
Yeah, it's
name?
going back to like that 90.
Yep, it would do something like this. Retest this massive support, put in a resistance right here, and then flush right back to test here. I'm not falling for that. So if you want to accumulate, let's say shares, you can accumulate 125, 120. 117 is like a take profit level or take loss level. You don't want to see it break below 117. Or you can say if it's going below 117, I'm taking out my shares and I'm buying in a swing for puts. You can do that just to keep the idea open for puts there. All right.
Valid.
Any other tickers? One more. One or two
Now,
more, whatever.
while we on the topic, while
Mm-hmm.
we on the topic of puts, I guess what is it called? Because I've never played puts.
Oh,
Yeah, if you can run me through.
I've been getting my groove into puts. So yeah, I'm getting there now for sure. The market beat me up enough for me to learn it very, very, very great.
There you go.
I called out some Amazon puts on here on the 15 minute right here. Let me clean up the chart a bit because this move already done happened for me. I was creating my watch list for some specific day and I had this up. I already did the retest right here. So the rest is not valid anymore for me. Alright. So why did I have this level right here? Which is clearly bounced right here. It's because I seen it on the 4 hour and the 6 hour chart. On actually it will be on the 4 hour. Because if it's not showing here, then it's not where I drew it. Wait, where is it? Okay, then it's just on a 1 hour then. Okay. So what I had seen is the previous all-time high here. Is it the previous? Yeah, previous all-time high here, resistance. And then we're looking for the third touch, and the third touch was right here. It became resistance again, right? So I figured if we have broken, in order to really confirm the downtrend breakout, we have to retest that level, and that's why I drew it. So in my pre-market level, I had marked here as a bounce level 185, and then we bounced on there for Friday. And to also validate it on the smaller time frame level, when you zoom into 1 hour, what can you see? A lot of tweezer bottoms right here. Tweezer bottom, you have the 21 holding a support, right at 21 upward. That was such a simple trade right there. Now you're having a flag in the post market. If we can hold 188, go into next week, we can see above 190 and going into 192 on Amazon. I personally I got in and out too many times in Amazon. That was a bad thing on my side. I just was greedy for the bottom of the average. So I had shares at 170, put in stop loss at 169, kicked me out. And 165 I was buying. I know before I had 20 shares, but then that time Nvidia also went lower, so I said let me buy more Nvidia at that time, thinking that we can stay around 165, 163 on Amazon, not knowing that some good news was going to happen on Wednesday, Thursday. So I ended up chasing it. I was only able to get in like I think 14 shares, average of 170, but like now it's so close to 198, I don't even want to buy anymore. So
Yeah.
hindsight 2020, should have held my 20 shares at 170, I would have been looking good right now, right? Really regret it, but hey, you live to learn. If you look at Amazon on a technical level here, you can see this massive monthly level is holding right here. So this is where the demand zone is on the monthly, right here. So anything once, actually let me reduce it a bit, it should be somewhere here. Yeah, you can see right here 177 was resistance, 177 was resistance here, 177 became resistance here, became support here, became support here. That tells you this is the massive demand zone in the monthly. So anything below 177 is a massive buy if you actually believe in a company for a long time, because it can be actually dangerous, which means if you close below the 21 on a monthly. Last time we closed below the 21 on a monthly. See what happened here? A
Mm-mm-mm.
massive downtrend. But I don't think that was gonna happen at least. So I started buying here. On the monthly, and we need to hold a minimum 180. If we have bad earnings and we close the month up below 170, that would be bearish, because if I draw the trend line here, you can tell. Right, you see it? It closed below 170 is bearish, and we can probably come to retest 145. But it would be first 160 and 145. However, maybe 160 might hold because it was previous resistance right here. You see that massive volume right here? That let me know that there are some buyers that are trapped up in here, especially the buyers that showed up in here as well in August the 1st. Yeah, so if you get 150, maybe you may not see that 140 because they'll buy it up. So let's examine things on the weekly. All right, so what do we see on the weekly? We touching the resistance of the 8 right now. So if we can break above the 8, we will likely visit the 21. We've seen that theory happen over here. It will hit resistance, touch the 21, reclaim the 21, and put in a new uptrend. Right? It's just that it would have to take a while. Like here, it was in August. We didn't see the uptrend start to begin until September, because it has to take consolidation. We are looking at it from the weekly time frame. So it will be like every candle is 1 week, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe like 4 weeks. We have the 8s cross the 21 to the upside, and we rip. Yeah, Amazon is a great consolidation buy over here. I like the volume though. If you see the when we put in the bottom massive volume, the pullback on this big red candle is still significantly lower volume. You can see right here.
Lower. Yep.
Lower volume. The
And
buyer stepping in a higher
then
volume.
higher. Yep.
Look at the RSI too. Double the. I used the wrong. Yeah, right here. 1, 2, double bottom on that part. We have an pending MACD cross. We're starting to lose momentum to the downside. That lets me know that the upside momentum cross is pending. Technical levels here. You can see previous resistance 2021, previous resistance 2021. What's previous resistance here in 2024? We broke it. Try to retest one lower. Let you really know that this 188 level was massive resistance. What was 188 over here too in March? Before we had that breakdown, we had a bear flag, which was using that 188 as support, which we lost it. So in order to reclaim or go higher, or let us know there's a momentum shift, Amazon must, and I really mean this, must get above 188 and hold 188. If it shows weakness at 188, I could end up considering this as another bear flag right here and buy some puts lower. I don't think you'll probably come to retest this low because we have lower highs right here. See 1, 2. We might make the third one somewhere right here. So if it shows weakness here, I'll short it from 188 back into 178, and then we'll see what the market gives us from there. But they have earnings, so all things are possible. I think it's this week.
And I don't even know because like Tesla, what the bad earnings, but that's one shot up last week.
I think
Crazy.
Amazon, if they have bad earnings, they'll still rally. If they drop lower, I actually would love it to drop lower because I'm biased on the lower side. I actually need to buy more. So go lower. Happy for me. Yeah.
Let's look at the index. Look at SMH. Try to see
We'll
that
look
one.
at SMH real quick. 1 second. Let's look at. Let me finish the daily on Amazon right here. If you see, we broke that massive downtrend here. That's when you start to see that gap up. And if you check, normally when Amazon is above the 8 and 21 on the daily, what does it do? Keep ripping higher. We just triggered above it, 8 and the 21. So Friday was a massive bear trap. I actually was bear trapped on Friday. I thought we might retrace a little bit and go higher, but Amazon had different ideas. So maybe we might get that retracement this week, a retest of 184, then go higher. Ultimate target on Amazon is 200 or 199 to be conservative. On the 6 hour tells you the same story. This is why I use the 6 hours chart, because it will let you know half of the day. So when we're breaking out here, you could have bought a swing. So over here I had the Amazon swing. Friday pre-market I had Amazon swing. It went to 189, 190, but then when the market opened, it flushed all the way to 186, and I was like, why? So I cut it, only for it to rally back end of the day. So that's my loss. Yeah, if you look at it on the 6 hour, you can see we have the bull flagging here. Right there. And what do we have it on? Lower volume. Every pullback here was a lower volume. The buy up was a significantly higher volume. See, end of day, higher volume. A break and retest above 190 rips. Rips to test maybe like 193. So yeah, I am bullish on Amazon. If you also see, Amazon had that inverse set and showed a head, left, right, boom. Even if you look at it on a much higher level, head, left, right, higher. Simple. That was a simple move. Break, retest, flag. Amazon is very, very bullish. That's all I can say. Hourly still looks the same. See, hourly flag. So it's gonna go. Bottom line. Now let's revisit SMH, our darling SMH. Biggest fumble. I drew the flag pattern right here on SMH. This key level here was supposed to be for the retest, right? But I still missed it. Flag normally will be what? The flagpole. So I just should have known that we about to break higher. So the retest on here. This one has potential to hit 230. Has the 230 potential as long as we can get above and hold 215. SMH is very, very a valid buy. I just don't want to buy here because I feel disappointed in myself to buy at this price. Yeah, because I saw it here. I was making noise about it. Buy. But I had my focus on Amazon, right? I had my focus on Amazon. I charted this on Monday. I still didn't buy here. I didn't buy here. So buying here feels like, why are you buying a resistance, right? I would love China to, have some Trump situation. They beef a little bit. We consolidate here. It will be 1, 2, 3, flush here. And then now, if it goes lower, we have that trend line support. See it right where it matches? Buy
That's around
right
like what?
here, 199, 198, 200. 200 retest, buy it up. That'll be the last time I buy it. If we lose 198, okay, I get out of it for a small paper loss, and then we come back to 185. But I think the market does have some steam in it for it to rally. So that's my take on SMH. I should have wrote everything down, but I'll probably play back the recording so I don't have to create a watch list later. If you look at it on the 4 hour looks very, very good. It's been holding the 8s. That's why I always use the 4 hour now. My watch is the 821 break on the 4 hour. Massive, massive, massive money could have been made over here. The 6 hour chart gives me more details, avoiding all the noise. If you look at the 6 hour chart, you can clearly tell that breakout was happening. Literally. So yeah, right here. Break, retest, Lord. 196 is a massive buy. But hey, hindsight is always 2020, right? So I like the 4 hour, the 6 hour chart. The 12 hour chart also tells you. I like the 12 hour charts for things that I want to see it's breaking down. So if you look at the 12 hour chart, you can tell right here. We lost the 821 on the 12 hour, right all the way down. Literally all the way, and it normally will serve as resistance for you as well until you break it. So that's why I use the 12 hour. It's like you have to check the market condition that you want to use that for. Same thing on the 4 hour too. You see, you lost that 821 on there. Before I wouldn't have played puts, but now there's no reason to get emotional. Just play both sides. The technicals are clearly there. You can tell right here. The magnets is tough right here. First support, second support, third support lost. That's enough for me to get in. MACD cross on the 4 hour to the downside. Momentum is picking up. Yeah, this was a massive short opportunity. But as the year goes on, we continue to grow and we will get better. So
yeah, bro. Especially now with the volatility, there's a lot of upsides and downsides.
yeah, same thing is what I saw on Google. That's what made me buy Google shares. I don't think you knew that, but I bought some Google shares. Let me move this up right here. I don't know if you can trade Google, but you can tell it's showing signs of life over here. Every RSI, 1, 2, might come back and retest over here. I expect a bounce between 158, 160 on there. I'll add up to some of my shares and then we rip higher, right back to 172. One of the reasons why Google pulled back that people really did not acknowledge is the Bollinger Band. It went outside the Bollinger Band on the daily. When I saw it, it was kind of end of day, so I should have sold some Google shares up here to try to buy it when it reaches lower. I forgot that Google really went all the way down to 140, so that's why. Yeah, I actually forgot it was massively weak, but it's all good. I actually want to own as much as Google shares like I have Nvidia and Amazon and the rest. I really want a massive stake in Google.
You that bullish on Google?
Oh, for sure. People are bearish on the search part, but I'm looking beyond the search part. They have something called AI overviews now, which is supposed to replace a bit of that search loss. I listened to the earnings call. Google is capacity constraints. They have a lot of backlog. They're making some good money. I like Gemini over GPT. Gemini is incorporated into all the Google infrastructure. It shows up in your Gmails now, your Excels. Google has a stake in Reddit, and they're collecting data directly from Reddit to help make Gemini better. So if you check all the AI platforms right now, you have XAI uses X as the social media for the real human content for the AI growth. You have Google using Reddit, and now the only person missing is GPT or OpenAI not having any social media, and that's why I'm very, very bullish on Google. Watch time on YouTube is going higher. YouTube TV making some good deals. Listen to earnings calls is everything for me. That is like my confidence booster for everything that I do. I listen to earnings call. I put in the hours, and if you do want to know where the earnings call info is, we have earnings call recap. I put in here Alphabet. Right after I listen to it, I put it right here the first. Then I put Tesla, Netflix, TSMC, and ASML. So today I probably will be listening to the Tesla one since last week Tuesday I was busy. Can you trade Netflix? Yes or no? Maybe not.
No. Let's look at Uber though. That's a stock, man. That's
actually
stock
Uber
of the year for
was a
me,
stock
bro.
that we really did great.
I have shares.
Yeah, we did great on Uber. I remember when you was buying
Yeah,
your
I
Uber Leap.
still got my
Did you
shares.
sell the Leap?
Yep. Yeah, I've been sold my lead, but I
Leap.
got shares though.
Okay. All right. Let me see. Why did I have this monthly level right here? It's still valid. I'm trying to clear out some noise in the monthly chart. This ain't it, so I can get rid of it because this level held right here. This is all wick, so I don't have to mark the wick.
Yeah, but I need it back to like 60 to get it back like a good lead. Because right now,
support. Okay, right here is fine. Actually, Uber is hitting resistance right now. It makes sense to take some Uber shares off the table. I was looking at this Friday after hours. If you look at monthly, there's some chance where we can go. You see about here is a huge wick. That lets me know that here also wick. That lets me know in this area the sellers are right here. You see how Uber retraced? The sellers are sitting right here at 182, 180. So this is resistance. If you get lucky, you might get 187. But like the difference between 180 and 187, it's only a $7 move. I'm seeing that the MACD looks like it wants to cross. It's either Uber really breaks and go crazy to hit something like $100 and maybe comes all the way down to cool off and establish this 82 level as a new support and then go higher from there. That can also happen. So it's like a make or break on the upside right now.
that's a theory that I have.
That's a theory you
with
have,
the shares,
right?
I'm hoping like it goes to like 100.
Yeah, rip through earnings 100, retest 82, consolidate for like price adjustment or price digestion, and then rip higher. Makes sense. It's been going up higher. You see, like over here, this is what I mean. This is similar to where all the sellers were at, right? And what did they do? Massively rip through. This is not just a small breakout. This is I'm going insane, right? You can tell right here. Rip all the way through. Yeah, that can happen. And then what did it do? Come back and retest the previous all-time high here. This is the same thing I'm saying with this. Maybe rip all the way to 100, come all the way to 80, 85 right here to touch this areas right here, and then go higher. I've spent years in the chart that I could tell that was gonna happen, because it's happened before here. Yep. Me personally, I have Uber shares and Uber been holding. I was contemplating on selling my Uber and just hold the Uber shares because I just want to do a little bit of profit taking. Because last time we just watched the portfolio gain all the money, we didn't take no profit, and I don't feel like making that mistake again. So you can tell right here we are breaking. So on your watch list, if you want to play some earnings lot or something, break above 178, catch you to 179. It might retest back to 176, and then I buy calls on there. So it makes sense. Uber looks great. Let me adjust this trend line support now. Should be here now. All right, I like Uber as a company. They are doing good. Let me see if I see anything that's showing weakness. You say you can't trade Coinbase, so I can't look at that. But Coinbase has a buy signal. I just showcase it for the recording. Coinbase has a buy signal on here, and how do I know we have a buy signal? If you look at it on the daily, whenever you cross, if you've ever looked at MACD vividly, right, or in detail, there's this short dashes over here. That is called the signal line. Whenever we cross the signal line over here, the 0% over here, I'll show you something in the charts. Let me increase here. We are doing a lesson on MACD right now. Gino, you still here? I think this is very great for you, Birdie. If you can say something for me. Is Gino here? You're here? Okay. So the 0 line in the MACD is the equilibrium. And if you check, every time you crossed on here, look at here when we cross the 0, right? This is what I'm calling the buy signal here. What did you see on Coinbase right here? We have that cross. What do you see? This is when it had massively corrected lower, retested the trend line support over here, crossed the buy signal. It ripped since. It ripped from like 169 all the way to 344. That's when it printed above the 0 line right here. And then when it printed below the 0 line over here, what did it do? That's the sell signal. It came all the way low to retest this demand area again. This demand area where we bounced before. You see it right here?
Mm-hmm.
Right here is where it's retesting. This is the strong demand. So what do we have now? We just closely touched the signal line. So if we can get above it slightly, or signal above maybe 215, reach as 223, 230 up in here, and it'll break that downtrend trend line. Go straight to retest maybe 168. So that's why I posted a buy signal on Coinbase up in here. I like this, but it's slightly overextended. For me though, I was buying like CONL when Coinbase was at this price because I knew what's up. And Bitcoin had also pulled back to $74, but Bitcoin had a bull flag on it, so it made more sense to accumulate this. So I added more BitX. I charted Bitcoin up in here in the swing. So check right here. I don't know. I hit all targets, and I signaled it when Bitcoin was right here. That time was looking very, very good.
So that, what is it called? That's an all-time low. What month is that?
Coinbase?
August? What? Yeah.
Not all-time low per se, but
no.
It's like it's close to the demand zone since the IPO. So the IPO low was over here 200, right? And then we make a significant low of 35. So now on stages level, right? This is a stage 1 breakout. If I want to mark let me go on the monthly. It will look much better. So you see right here, if I mark the monthly level, this is a stage 1 breakout. Stage 1 breakout. Stage 2 break and retest. This is the demand zone of stage 2. You see it? So it's holding the demand of the zone. That's what happened there. So it's technically a break and retest of the previous all-time high trend line here, but the demand zone of it right here. It could have had some reason to go all the way as low as to $80, but I don't think the buyers wanted that. That would be a bad crash in the company. You see, right? It would be right here. You see it? If it came all the way to like 80, it would be somewhere in here. So if we ever get into a bear market, we could, but I don't see the chances. The chances are kind of light. Because we had a doji in here that was just indecision, and so that indecision area, the decision was made this time to rally higher. So yeah, and the 1 week you can tell too. Confluence reasons, we had the tweezer bottom again, right? And then the 200 MA held at 160. So this gave me more reason to buy CONL. I added a lot to my position. So now I have BitX, CONL, MSTX. So I can sell MSTX as CONL and hold my BitX, which is 2x Bitcoin directly.
Tough.
Yeah, I'd rather hold Bitcoin directly, the asset itself, 2x of the asset itself, than a variable of the
then
asset.
like this. Yeah.
So I'll forever hold my BitX. Yeah. So we have buy signal already on the daily. Yep. Bullish.
And I see you got AMD. What's up with that?
AMD. AMD, I got bearish on it when it rejected right here at 115. I actually looking to buy AMD, but like I have that guilty conscience as to why wasn't I buying at 76? Why wasn't I buying at 83? But it makes sense to maybe buy here now. Let me hide the drawings because it's getting a bit messy for chart. When you look at it without the drawing, right? You have resistance. Every time we break out, we reject crazily. We break out, we reject. We break out, we reject. So maybe this time the breakout, could buy calls up in here at 96 and you put your stop loss maybe at 93 to see if we hold. Or maybe wait for it to retest 93, buy calls and put your stop loss below like maybe 91 to see what happens. I feel like now, more than ever, we've had the MACD cross. So last time I had the MACD cross over here, that momentum carried on until it got exhausted because they hit resistance again, right? Now we have the MACD cross and it's our resistance. This is support becoming resistance. If it can flip and hold 97, this thing can go straight to 115 again. Because it will be joining the line from here. This resistance, you put the line down here, it will meet somewhere up here. I don't want to draw the line because it'll bring everything, but yeah. I am bullish on AMD. I think it's way undervalued, but I have too many good stocks to be looking at that sometimes I just choose to buy the one that Wall Street is looking to favor. Example, Meta, right? Meta, even when it goes lower, it reclaims quickly. Sometimes time is money, Time is money. So I'd rather buy Meta rip higher quickly, use some of the profit of Meta to come buy AMD, rather than buying AMD and just sitting on money. So, but I like AMD though. If you can maybe buy a leap year, buying a leap year is not so scary as to buying a leap year or up here. It depends on your time horizon. I know you're a long-term investor, so a leap here, not so bad. It's just that I'll probably buy a leap on NVIDIA than AMD. I'd rather hold AMD shares for the future. But I do think this thing can go back to all-time highs someday, for sure. For sure. If
So what are some of these companies that you?
Go ahead.
I was gonna ask what are some of the companies now that you holding in your long term?
I can quickly show you. 1 second. Oh, I'm not trying to sell that. Oh, why is it doing that? I don't know why it did that. The app I was just scrolling down. The app did that on its own. But this is my BitX. You can see I was buying some more on this recent downtrend. Yeah, should have bought way more I want about 5. It's because I have too many things that I'm buying, right? So sometimes I try not to go broke on just one thing. But position looks good. I'm never selling this. I might trim, but I'm never selling the whole thing. TSLL here, this is the 31. You see, good average. Great average. I actually had 100 shares of this, but I would sell sometimes to buy other things. Amazon, good average, but not enough shares like I wanted. Like, I'm far away from the 20. I'm missing 12 shares. Not happy about it. My Uber right here. I wanted to add 3 more shares of Uber, but I might do it after earnings. I want to see
Why
if
you
maybe
got
it'll go lower.
why you got TSO? Or you just gonna sell those? Because you got actual Tesla and you got the
So
TSLL,
TSL will be
TSLL.
sold for profit in the future that Tesla pulls back. I have money made in TSL to buy more Tesla because I've held this 20 shares for a long time. Even the massive downtrend, you see right here, my average is 206. We got Tesla go to the price of like 212, and I couldn't buy some. You see, right here, I haven't bought any Tesla. Like I only bought 1 share, but that was in March. That was not enough. Like if we got 212 and I didn't buy any, what I'm saying? Should have bought some. If I bought it at 260, I should have bought some, but I didn't have money for Tesla at that time because I increased my position in TSLL in my other portfolio. That means I have a lot of exposure. You see what I'm saying? I don't want to overly expose myself because
Yep.
one, Elon is in the government and stuff too. At that time, it was a bit risky for me. Too much of a risk, yeah. So Uber, I want to add 3 more shares, send it to 20. Same with Nvidia. So my Uber average, very very good, 67. If it goes to 100, this will be a winner.
Yes, sir.
Nvidia, 10% of my portfolio. You see how this is 10% of my
That's
portfolio,
sweet.
and then Bitcoin is also close to 10% of my portfolio. I'm making things really just be not overpowering the portfolio, but they have like right amount of size. So Amazon is 7%, so I make it 10. You see, so when one ticket drops, my whole portfolio not crashing anymore. It's called balancing. So add 3 more shares. Robinhood, I really regret not adding more. It's close to 50 now. My average is 35. And if it do bad on earnings, which I don't think they would, I actually need some propaganda to happen in the company. So I'm trying China to do something. I need China again. Do something bad so I can make this 10% of my portfolio as well. Yeah, major regret. Crawl, which is 2x CrowdStrike. I wanted to buy CrowdStrike itself, but the shares are pricey for me. Even though it would be the same measured move, it made sense for me to go for the ultimate risk and do the 2x. So my average is 19. Do you see this? I literally I bought it like this is the capitulation day. When I seen everything collapse and people were scared to buy, I just haven't bought 10 shares of this. If I lose $200, I would say I bet $200 in a lotto play and I lost the money. And I know I was going to lose in the cybersecurity stock, so I bought it. We're looking very, very good. AVGO, I'm also holding great average on AVG. I am not selling this. This is the one thing I want to show you. I'm not selling this. Even if it comes down to 163, I'll buy more. And I'm not looking to take profit neither. I'm actually holding this. Like, we have room. I looked at it on the monthly Bollinger Band. I'm like, we got room over here. If you can tell, even on the line chart, I have the head, left shoulder, right shoulder. That's why I accumulated a lot over here. I think we're going higher. Break this previous resistance here. Make it a support, and we can test all-time highs. I can show you right here in the AVGO. If you look at the monthly Bollinger Band, the daily should show resistance, so we can really retrace to 185. I think the market is due for a slight pullback, but you can tell right here.
Yeah, we had like three, or maybe 2 days upturn.
Yeah, this is what I've always was saying. I figured a way that something lets you know that the long-term uptrend was holding, which is which is the monthly 13 EMA, which I've used under many of my analysis. So we lost it over here, and I should have known it was time for puts, but I don't normally short the market at that time. So I had to accumulate when we hit the 8 over here. You see it? That 8 was always a trigger for me, because every time it went below it, it doesn't stay that there forever. We can go to the Bollinger Band low, but I didn't think they're gonna send AVGO to 63.
All the way,
And
yeah.
in AVGO, we've seen it show relative strength. Let me hide all the stuff. There was a time when this thing capitulates and it put in a tweezer bottom over here, and it has this big green candle that most tickers didn't have at that time. So when it was pulling back, I was like, oh, this is time to get in. This is time to get in because this is previous resistance right here turned into support. It was time to get in, establish a support again. You see how the 8 crossed the 21 here is about to cross again. Break retest over here 91. I think this goes to the highs. So normally I buy more of the ticker that show me relative strength, and then that was AVGO. Hence I'm not selling this. And they also, I also put in the chat when it capitulated to 140, they put in a share buyback report. That was after the earnings. They let everybody know that they are doing a massive 17 billion share back. If I check the chat, I might be able to find it.
They're repositioning themselves, so
yeah, they're like, oh, our company is way
undervalued.
Undervalued, yeah. Maybe let me scroll it. Why can't I find it? Oh, because I am searching in Swing. Should be searching in the general chat. All right. Can't find it. That's surprising. They had the news and I shared it. Right here. I knew it was interesting. It was actually a 10 billion, not 17 right here. And this was what, April the 7th. Oh, it's not showing the Discord.
Nah, just a chart.
Okay, I guess I am sharing window here. Okay, sorry. Yeah, I don't know how to show it, but if you search in the chat, you might be able to find it. I'll actually put it in general for you. I will reply to it right now and say AVGO so you can find it. I always thought I'm sharing the whole screen, but I guess I am sharing the Chrome window. My fault, guys. Yeah, okay. So I actually believe this can go to the highs. Now let's look at what's next? TQQQ. So TQQQ was always one of my dream plays to buy. See, I only got 8. I actually should have sent it at 10, but I was scared. I seen it come around to like 142 somewhere here, and I was like, I'm scared right here. Oh, where is it? Somewhere here. It was last week before we had that strong rally. Yeah, it's like I was about to go to bed. I'm like 142. My average is 40. I mean, yeah, it was 42. I said my average is 40. I'm scared. I should have bought more, but the reason why I bought TQQ is just simply because of QQQ. We did a retest of the previous all-time highs. If you see right here, you see it 400 level. So in the pandemic, TQQQ was probably like $22, and my biggest regret is not being able to buy some. So when we did the previous retest of the highs, I'm like, you know what? Let me test the theory of what I always wanted. It just makes me happy to test something that I've always thought about, so I can just see it come to life. So I just said I'm gonna buy this, and I don't think I ever sold. See, I just bought. I never sold. I just kept adding. So I'll hold this to the highs and see what happens. If we come lower because of China thing, whenever, I'll just buy more. If it goes to the highs, this thing can go to like $90, and that would triple my money. And so it's just 2% of my portfolio. This is something that I'd rather hold than doing a lotto earnings play that costs $200 every time. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is my lotto. Betting that the market will forever go up in a while now. And then FBL.
Yep, and no expiration.
Yeah, no expiration. See, yep. FBL, I couldn't buy Meta. Maybe I should have bought Meta, but I liked that tweezer bottom here on the daily. I mean on the weekly right here. Oh, I don't want to draw the line, but we see it. I'll reverse it so I can hide the lines again. It looks good, but until we really reclaim 260, we are in the massive downtrend. That's the reason why I actually like it. I like the fact that we are in the downtrend, so I can actually have time to accumulate this thing. Before, when stocks are selling off and panicking, but I actually want to sell off now, so the portfolio can just be bloody red, but I still get to buy enough of what I want to buy. It gives me more 2 weeks to get a paycheck, right? So that's how I look at it. Yeah, so I have 15 of this. Average is 23. I actually added on it on Friday, I believe. You see right here, I bought 5 more shares on Friday because I actually believe in this. That Meta will have that. It was just $700. Oh. It was just $700, dog. 734. If you look at FBL, when Meta is up there, FBL becomes $50. 50. That's 2x my position. This this becomes another amount of this money. I would want that. You feel me? So I don't have pressure right now. I'm buying more. I'm buying more. Every time I tell myself I want to buy Kava, I set that money aside and buy one share of this. Because one lunch at work would be one share of this, right? So
Hmm.
that's how I look at it. And then Google, been buying. I'm not. I don't think I'm selling Google. I already explained my Google thesis. You can see that the day before earnings, I added a couple more shares, and you see I've been buying. Been buying. I am bullish on this name. I don't know how to explain it. I think one day we go back to $200 again. If I actually had enough money in my portfolio, I'll buy a leap on Google. Um, let's see. TSM. One of my biggest regrets is TSM not buying more of TSM. If you look at it in the chart, massive capitulation at 134. We've seen that 134 level right here, that August the 5th one. So that told me enough to know that this is a confluence level of a demand. This will be demand, and this is also the demand of the previous all-time high. If you haven't learned anything from this session, previous all-time highs
Nah.
is your buy.
Yep.
But every time, like when the moment you are checking the most, just bet on the previous all-time high and buy. And every time it touches it, it doesn't wait for you. So I put in my average over here at 155 ish, right here, somewhere here. I said, you know what, it's fine. Even if we retrace to 150, I just buy more. Maybe give me 134 again. Position will be down, but at least I might get in 20 shares. I actually don't care. Because there's nobody beating TSM at their game. TSM beat earnings top and bottom line and raised forward guidance. I don't know why this
Yep.
thing is not going back to highs yet. It's just because of tariff thing, and it's like, they just uncertainties on
Yeah, it's kind of
Taiwan. But
stagnant.
yeah, I think this company is very, very undervalued. It should actually be like a $300 stock. So I'm not sleeping on this. EYL, Troy really believes in this. If you probably join EYL, you would see that he's probably been buying leaps over here. I do not have leaps in TSM because I'm running on a finite amount of money and I just want to get in my good positions. Um,
Yeah, I think it'll probably shoot up once they get more certainty. Because I think what is it called? The whole Intel story. I think they pushed it to TSM right for the
mhm.
US. So once you hear probably more news about that, that's when you're gonna see that breakout.
You can tell that now more than ever, I have a lot of positions than you've ever seen me have because this market is down and I'm not looking to really play it. I
Yeah,
have chance on
that's why I
everything.
was interested to see what you're holding
I
now.
actually want to hold more shares of the good asset. We have Vertiv, and I really spoke about Vertiv and what they do. They are AI super cooling company, and they do the liquid cooling service for the AI infrastructure. So if you can check from the chart on the weekly, this is the previous all time. This is the previous support trend line, generation support trend line. We have one, two, three already here rejected, and we went lower. I think this is the fourth touch. We might come back to retest 86 evenly right here, maybe 86, maybe flush a little lower to 78. But I think we go back to retest 93. They beat and raised. I think they beat guidance. I'm not sure if they raised it. I have to listen to earnings call. But one of the reasons why I bet on Vert again is that I listened to EYL and they went to the Nvidia GTC conference and they said one of the slides really had a lot of Vertiv info in there, and I'm like, oh, Vertiv is still in the picture. That means I want to hold a lot of Vertiv then.
Solid.
My 5 shares is not really what I really like for Vertiv. It's all a money situation. I personally want more. My average is 74. I really hope we can get a retracement back to 80 so I can dump like 5 more shares in there. But just know 5 shares of this cost me 400 and something. So every time I'm really like spending almost all of my paycheck. I'm bullish on SoFi, but not so bullish, so I never really go so hard. I tell myself, why do I keep buying this company if I keep selling it? I don't understand. I think this stock
But
can become
honestly, though,
$22. Mm-hmm.
on that note too, because I got a picture. I'll post it though. Because looking at like what is it called? Because I got a picture that says like
Is it SoFi?
let me see. Nah, it's not so far, but it's basically looking at like the top 10 largest S&P 500 companies
Mm-hmm.
over like the last from 1985 to like now, and then
Mm.
every every decade there's always like a change in one like financial services industry, like company. I wonder what's gonna be next.
Mm,
Right now,
I see
who
what you're
is for
saying.
the last 3 decades has been JP. I mean, JP probably is gonna stay there though,
I see
but
what you're
they've been
saying.
running since 2010. Yeah,
I think maybe we might have an AMX. AMX CEO just said the millennial millionaires are not feeling any pressure of this recent economic situation. We can look at AMX since we're talking about financial services, but looking at SoFi, right, on the monthly, this is the stage one breakout right here, 836, and we had a retest of it at 860. So hindsight, this is a massive buy signal. This is the stage one breakout right here. Why? Because that's where we had the massive breakout of that flag pattern right here. So yeah,
yeah. That's the crazy
hindsight's.
part though, because we don't.
Mhm.
I don't own any, but I don't even know much people that has like even financial services. But I think that's a
A lot
good,
of retailers
at
own
least,
SoFi. A lot of retailers own SoFi
yeah,
because
just to
they,
keep one in the portfolio though.
yeah, because they hold a lot of like high yield savings accounts, so people own SoFi. I personally don't own enough. I think SoFi is a company I don't really like, but just to stay in the loop, because I didn't really like Palantir when it started. I bought 20 shares because I just told myself I didn't want to miss it. So I think I might do the same for SoFi. Buy like 50 shares of this in my Momo account and say, I don't want to keep looking at you because if I look at you, I'll sell you. So just buy somewhere where I forget about it. Yeah. I don't even want to look at it. I might sell it. Because every time if I have to compare this to Meta, I will sell this and take that money, that 129, and buy some FBL. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, that's that for me. And everything down here from SoFi to CONL, MSTX, and Nebius, they are sellable. That Core Weave one share here was just to hold something. I don't care about it for now. I might load up into Core Weave instead of Nebius, but they almost all the same. Um, Maybe let me move Core Weave down here because everything is supposed to be in order. I will sell this when Bitcoin peaks a little bit at 98K. I'll sell this. CONL position is very very dope.
Drop the
30.
pick, by the way.
It's a what?
No, just put the pick of what I was talking about though, like the sense so you can see the fluctuations there.
I'm still surprised why you can't. Let me see. Oh, you couldn't see my Discord because it has streamer mode on. Because you realized I was
Not
streaming.
oh
I just turned it off. That's why I can see it now. Yeah, I see what you're saying. So we had IBM, GE, Exxon, Apple. Oh, I see what you're saying here. And then now we have the financial. Well, in this case, we had oil, Coke, IBM, Intel. Okay, Philip Morris. Philip Morris, the cigarette company. Wow. And then we have JPM. I like it. I really, really like it. I really like it.
yeah, Microsoft holding it down. 2000,
I think
so
though,
still there.
I think
Apple for
Tesla
the
will still
last
be
three.
here. I think Tesla will still be here. Tesla will still be here. I don't know
They see
about.
like they got Broadcom and Nvidia in the semi
Mm,
space.
see, at least I own one, two, three, four, five, six, and it's 10. I'm like 70% in this. Maybe I might start adding Apple a little bit, but yeah, I think it makes sense to own some of this if you don't. I like GE though, but I don't know. I like a lot of good things, but I don't have enough of money for a lot of good things. Yeah, but
That's why it's the market.
that's the yeah. I gotta get the money in the market. So I think I'm done with this part here. MSTX also. Let me wrap this through. 28 average. I think I'm gonna sell this. Nothing crazy on here. And then Nebius. I actually wanna. I used to have 25 shares of this. Nebius is just like SoFi for me, right? I believe in the mission of the company. I might just buy 20 shares. 20 shares. Put in the Momo and just don't look at it. Cause some of my positions in my Momo are down. I'm gonna show you. I actually like Reddit too. Let me show you the WhatsApp. I like Reddit. Reddit right here. I fumbled Reddit. I used to have Reddit at $100, but then it went as low as 78. So I would have been panicking right here. But like I said again, retest of previous all-time highs. This is the IPO highs. So in this area right here, 75 to 78 was a buy. And you can clearly see this is like 80. So if you're not so stingy on it, you could have just started buying here. This was a massive buy. Look at that bullish pin bar. It hit all the key levels. I really hope we could get some retracement. I actually want some bad news. The CEOs need to have some scandal, something. I don't know what they need to do, but send it lower. Now it's holding this support level here too, 116. Break and hold 120. This thing goes straight to 128. The thing with Reddit though, the gaps are so higher that the candles can print $10 candles if it wants to. So this thing can take like 6 months and make its way back to 174. I won't be surprised. So this is not probably a bad time to DCA in, especially this is the weekly, right? If you can hold this level here, 118, maybe it makes sense to start buying a position there. On the monthly, you can tell if it's above 118, actually 123 on the safer side for the monthly. If it gets above here, every time we're above this level here, it went higher. The only time it was above it is when it went lower, so we can get above it again and rip. I don't know. Can you trade Reddit? I don't know. It's just something.
Yeah, I can. Yeah.
You can. Okay. So if you look at my Momo here, Palantir position still doing good. Robinhood position doing good. I have just 7 shares. Probably should have made it 20, but it's just not enough money to get around. You see how I have FBL in the other portfolio, and I have FBL here. I will sell the one in Robinhood. In the future, I'll put that money into here. This has a $25 average, so yeah, bigger position here. My UberL here is bigger. EMZZ. I am down on my Amazon position on here. I'm not selling this. If it goes lower, oh well. It can go to 1915. I don't care. I probably may not buy it here to average down. I will buy it in a different portfolio. Because sometimes averaging down means your money is sitting to something that your average won't break you even. And I'd rather buy something that will go up from there. You know what I'm saying? Same thing with Apple. I haven't even DCA'd into Apple. I just want to leave it like that. AVGO. I have AVGO in the other portfolio, but now this AVGX, right? That position is up $200, and my average is like $11 right here. And I just started buying this when AVGO capitulated. This is the position. You can see it's up 60%. And I think this is the order history. Where is it? Right here. I started buying when it capitulated. At some point I sold some and I bought it again. And I loaded up higher. So that was over here. If you check the date, you can see. Oh, now me opening YouTube. Right here, 4847. So if you check the chart on the weekly, you can tell which week had 48s. Right here, you see it? 4847. I was buying the bottom because I had seen it was retesting here. I couldn't let it go by. The moment I saw that user bottom, knowing technicals is important for you. It's important for your growth. You can be one step ahead. So I was starting to buy here. The confluence was the support here, the trend line support over here as well. And it was a Monday when everybody was talking about Black Monday. I just knew it was time to buy. I just couldn't explain any better. So yeah, that's AVGX and my TSLO position. Right, doing great. You can see it right here. That position is up 1.6k, but it would be unrealized because I took a realized loss of 458. I set a stop loss on Tesla when I bought this position, and the stop loss just triggered overnight. Like it was that Monday that China said if the US increasing tariff, they increasing theirs too, and Tesla has a lot of production in China. So it just basically wicked through my stop loss and kicked me out. I only put a stop loss just to be like safe, not necessarily like sell it because I didn't think it would hit. So I took a necessary loss, but then I got right back in. Yeah, I got right.
There you go.
So
lesson in disguise.
Yeah. So yeah, this is the profit, but then this is like the loss of this main profit. So that's like only $7 up. But if it goes to $40 some, I'll be Gucci. So that's all I'm holding in here. What I will be bringing in here will be Palantir, not Palantir, 2x Palantir, which is PLTU. and it's normally cheaper. So when Palantir was like $70, this was 17, and it wasn't long ago. Look at it. This is April the 7th. If you bought down here, dog, holy fuck. So some bad news, or they lose bad earnings or something, just look to buy this. If you skip buy this, and things will recover. Alright. That's really it for the most part. Now, unless you guys won't have anything else you want to look at. Any tickers you want to look at, I can look at it for you. Roblox broke out a retest of 65. I don't like Roblox anymore. I like Roblox for the kids. I think what's gonna actually break out this coming week or this coming quarter will be Home Depot. Home Depot above 363, breakout goes to 374. I think it has room to go back to $400, and I like Home Depot for confluence of Airbnb. Should have bought Airbnb $100. I don't know how I forgot about this. I didn't notice this lower drop because I was in Philly when this happened. I went to a job conference, and when I came back, the market had a rip. I'm like, whoa, what happened here? But if you listen to the Airbnb business model, they want to become the new Disney. So they are creating Airbnb buildings that represent specific time in life. So maybe like if you put like Snow White's house, they build houses that look like Snow White, so people who want to live that life, they.
But that's different.
Yeah,
that's different.
Yeah, so different. I like the business model now. They're not making a lot of money like before, but I should listen to their previous earnings. They did good in earnings, but then we have this massive capitulation. If you see something like this, you have to buy. Can't ignore it. Yeah. I keep this green list on me though, and I have this is my priority 1. This I don't know. I'll let it go. But I want to buy TTD to get into the ad tech environment, get some exposure. There, Reddit is on my watch list here. We have pizza, which is Papa John's. I feel like the American consumer will always eat, and this is like testing that massive support over here. Last time we saw this support was 2014, and all it takes is one stimulus check, and the American consumer wants to get fat. Eli Lilly will make money, and pizza also makes money. And right underneath pizza, which is Papa John's, I have wing. We all like that Wingstop when it's close to football, whatever, football Friday or Saturday night football, whatever it's called, right? Holding the 200 MA right here. Holding the 200 MA right here. Last time we held it, ripped to all-time highs. All-time highs, and this is 443. That's 50% from here. I like this.
Insane.
I like this.
This stock trades that much? Jeez.
Yep.
I know that.
So this is the previous all-time high here on that retest. I was hoping we might come lower to like 177, but I don't think the market gonna give me that. So I might start to DC in here. I like Wingstop. I think we can touch this 150 level, 160 level. I actually really like. I can't play options on this because the bid and ask spread is very terrible. So this is a massive high priority here, priority 1 for me, and MDB, MongoDB, which is it hits the this is what I call the capitulation moment where it lost the previous support trend line, right? Retested lower, had my previous buy zone higher, but then it lost it. Formed a bearish pennant, and it went lower. I've seen this play happen before. When it breaks this trend line support like this and flushes lower, and it reclaims and go higher, and that ticker is Roblox. How do I know this? I used to be a massive Roblox bull, and what did we see here? We had this bearish pennant, and when it broke it, you see it right here? Broke it, lose this support trend line right here, capitulate, reclaim, and rips. This is what I think will happen to Wingstop. Reclaim this capitulation area, and then they send it higher, retest it, and rips again. So I think Wingstop will be like this. Roblox looks like Wingstop in the making. So, and then MongoDB. I just like database management. I'm in tech. I think this has chance to go into highs again. Something similar to how Atlassian was, right? If you look at Team, it had this massive capitulation moment, just like this. It lost this trend line support right here. This is exactly what I'm thinking Wing also will do. You see right here? Capitulates, reclaim, rips, retested, goes higher. It will gain some strength. The time for it will come. Wingstop. So I like Wingstop, MongoDB. What stock was I just looking at? Team, right? I like Atlassian too, but I think I missed the bottom on it. If it's above $200, I'm not buying. There's too many good things to look at than to chase something, you know. Yeah, MongoDB. I like DoorDash, but I lost the level, which is 167. I actually lost it. So DoorDash has a partnership with Klarna, and I was listening to it a month ago when the market was capitulating, and I figured if people are broke, they'll still do the buy now pay later to buy the Chipotle, and DoorDash is going to make money. So a break above 190 sends this thing straight to all-time highs. I actually think this thing has room back to 260. See it right here? It's a massive bargain right now. If you can catch it around like 162. Just I don't like it at this price. And I did mention American Express. I have AMX card, the business gold. Had it for years and I have unlimited credit on it and I really love it. It tells me that if you're a person that's responsible for your money, you can always spend more money and you can always pay it back. The more money you spend, the more you pay back. These people make money on here. If you listen to the previous earnings call, their CEO is very, very, very bullish on this company. And we just got above the 8, so I think we can retest the 21, which will be 274. I was supposed to have a buy order in here at 230. I don't know what happened. I know what happened. It's because I was buying all the other stocks that I showed in my portfolio, and sometimes some go under the radar, right? So if I can get maybe a retest 250, 240, I might start to nibble up in here. I like this company. This is the next financial company that I think might replace number 2. Instead of Goldman Sachs, will be American Express. JPM is probably untouchable. Yeah. I've been looking at this ticker called Samsura here. I don't really know much about this company, but I just love the chart. Like every time it broke this $40 level here, we either flushed or we either ripped. $40 to $60 is like a 35% on your money. So I figured I might just have this in my priority, just for something that I want to buy just to sell, you know, to make money to afford the other things. And then I had CEG. I mentioned DraftKings already at $27. I don't know if anybody bought some. D-Dog is what I'll be buying this week because it just broke above $100. I don't know why I didn't buy it at $79. I actually had 5 shares of this at $92, but I sold it to go buy NVIDIA. I rebuy my shares, so I think I'm gonna restructure the priority level. It's supposed to be like this. So I take Wingstop, American Express, D-Dog over Kava, TTD over Grail and Reddit, and I like MongoDB over here. So maybe if I'm supposed to pick like 6, it would be this. But I want to own a minimum of 10 shares of each, so you know it's gonna cost me a lot of paychecks. I like Cloudflare. Cloudflare, if you understand the fundamentals of the company, this is the highway of the internet. Cloudflare gives you the platform to connect IoT devices. That's one thing, and it also helps you with security. And I like it. I say the highway of the internet because it allows you to move fast, but it also like protects you in a way as to like from vulnerabilities and things like that. Traffic, like website trafficking. So I like Cloudflare. Just that $100 was the buy. I don't know. I'm looking at the stocks. Some go under the radar. So I'll probably put Cloudflare before D-Dog. But because Cloudflare doesn't have the $100 price, I'm not buying at 120. Maybe if I was gonna buy 20 shares, I'd probably buy like 5 here because I think it'll go to all-time highs. But I don't like 120 as a price.
I think that thing boomed off 100.
Yeah, I didn't wait for nobody. Like, I don't know. It's just too many tickers to look at because everything was at a discount. I'm like, I don't know. Is this me? Certain things go over my head. I like DraftKings. NFL preseason is coming. We all seen this Shadora thing. Like, sports betting is becoming a place where even Robinhood want to venture in there. If Robinhood want to go from just trading to pure gambling, I'll let you know, like, hey, there might be some money up in here that you want to at least hold some DraftKings, okay? So
But yeah, they already have been because I think March Madness they had like brackets or something up there
Yeah, Robin Hood, right?
on
Yeah,
Robin
yeah,
Hood though. Yeah.
I'm looking at Hims
Man,
too. Hims is a massive lagger here. Gino, were you saying something? I want to make sure I don't cut you
I said, I don't care about none of that Liverpool Premier League champions. You dig?
off. Go ahead, bro. Go ahead.
Yeah, bro.
I'm looking at Hims. Hims is holding. Focus, guys. I'm looking at Hims. Hims is holding a 200 MA. 200 MA on the daily. And I think this is a massive laggard. What I've seen this week is Eli Lilly pop. And Eli Lilly pop makes Hims slow down because Hims sells the same like weight loss drugs as Eli Lilly when Eli Lilly's drugs become like hard to find. But I like Hims for the future beyond this weight loss drug because Hims provide you personalized medication using your DNA and like things that are specifically for the person. So if you look at hair growth products, is designed for the person's like blood type, whatever involves the person that makes them unique, and that's what I like. Personalized medication. I think that's the next step for AI in the healthcare sector. So I want to buy Hims. Hims fall in the same category as SoFi, the same category as what's the other thing that I want to hold 20 that I don't want to look at. I forgot. It was SoFi and what else? SoFi and Nebius, right? Hims fall in that same category. Hold 20 shares. I don't want to look at it. I don't want to think about it. If I do think about it, I'll sell it. So if I can catch it at 25, that'd be great. But max buy for me is 30, and that is that. AVG already owned, Tesla already owned. ANET is what I was looking at on Friday, and I had to decide if I wanted to buy ANET or other things, and I decided to buy on other things. But if you look at ANET on the monthly, it is holding here. This is my buy signal. It's making a doji holding this 8. If it can get above 78, that's my trigger to buy. We already did the bearish MACD cross that we saw, like similar on Microsoft Avery, right? I knew the downtrend was coming, so I just waited for it to flush. What I was still learning in this phase as to when the MACD goes lower, does the candle normally close lower? I thought it would be closing 64, but market had good news up in there. If you look at the monthly, this was the resistance level, but I didn't think this would be the previous all-time high retest because I thought it would be here. Right? I thought maybe we bounce here, but then we went lower. So I thought maybe if we're going lower, we might probably get to 49. That's the idea of always go lower type thing, but we never got that lower. So if the month doesn't close below 77 and close above 78, I'll be starting to load up in here. Because if you look at the Bollinger Band on a monthly, there's room all the way up to here 116. But if it closes below 77, then I think maybe we'll get back to 63, right? So if you look at it on the 1 week, you can tell we have the Bollinger Band low on the weekly down here. My concern again, if you close below 77, this can become a bear flag. See it right here. Then we can retest the 63. That's why I need to close above 78, 79. Give me that confluence. I'll buy my shares here. I might even buy a swing, send it straight to 90. Because I think this stock would do great on earnings. I actually recently learned about Arista Networks because I went to an automation workshop at IBM a month ago. And I realized Arista Networks has parts in all the Wi-Fi and all the Bluetooth devices that are currently used for the most part. So I was like, oh, okay. I like that. If we have like a massive push of AI into like computers, right? You need new Bluetooth and you need more faster connectivity because you're gonna need faster internet to be able to prompt these GPT models and stuff like that, right? That's where Arista comes into play for me. So this probably falls in the category of I want to own you and I don't want to look at it again because I don't like a ticker like this to trade, right? So own it, forget about it. This probably something if I had a child, I'll put it into the custodian account, something like that. So we have Nebius, we have SoFi, we have Hims, and we have ANET. And then in that category was Sphere happened, and Sphere is that big giant globe in Vegas. I actually like Sphere.
In Vegas?
Yeah, I actually want to own a property in Vegas, saying this on camera because I actually want to own a property in Vegas. Vegas is like home of technology for me. If you've seen the Super Bowl stuff they doing in Vegas, the Amazon event happened in Vegas. The Google Cloud meets whatever thing is called happened in Vegas. We've seen F1 happen in Vegas. So entertainment in America happens in Vegas, and I believe this sphere will become the place where future concerts will be held. If you actually watch videos on it, it looks great, literally, and great advertisements too. When Bitcoin is rallying, they make advertisements on this. You can watch wildlife events in here, and I watched them build this platform since 2021 because I've been to Vegas 4 times in the last 6 years. So the only place I haven't gone to is Go Inside Sphere. So I might go maybe in a month or two. Want to pay it a visit and see what it looks like. So I like this company. I fumbled a little bit though. I couldn't get it at 25. I'm seeing massive buy volume on the daily on it, and I recently read an article. You see, it just broke out on the daily, so I think this will go higher. I recently read news on this, and they just they had a debt restructuring. So they were losing money a bit on Sphere when they built it because they built it peak pandemic. So they did lose projected money that they thought they was going to make at that time. Now they're starting to break even, but then they're thinking of building Sphere in New York under Madison Square Garden. So
oh snap!
They're thinking of bringing one down here, and the cost of it over here, you see right here, Sphere deals a win shareholders as banks take a hit. And I was reading this, and you can tell that they had debt before. And you see this, the agreement appears to be a setback for Madison Square Garden sports owner. So I think they might bring one here in New York for MSG. You can really read this whole info on it, and it makes me bullish on this. I really want to buy it since it's in a capitulation area over here. I want to get maybe like 20 shares or maybe like 10 something, because I liked it when it was up here at 46, to be honest. So over here it's like I really want to buy it. There's certain things you buy for yourself in your portfolio because it falls in your dreams, it falls in the areas where you want to live. I want to own a retirement home in Vegas and one retirement home in New Orleans. So I want to invest a little bit up in there. And yeah, I think I gave you a whole rundown of everything I've been looking at. There are a couple of things though that I'm still looking at, but I don't really want to overwhelm you guys because I've been ranting for a minute now. TMDX, you was here when we talk about TMDX, right? The company that does the organ transplant. We already fumbled it. Yeah. It already broke out. It took like 6 months of consolidation, actually 4 months since December. So it makes sense that we lost track of it. But if it can give me that retest over here at $70, I might buy it because we saw it at $55. They hit my stop loss over here and kicked me out. But it's all good. Financial services, I actually put it up in here, FAS, in the chat. It was 105 at that time, and I was screaming everybody should buy this. This is about to rip because right here, oh my god, put this on your watches right here. Financials are making a comeback. You wouldn't say that I knew. I knew it because I seen it bounce over the 200 MA on the weekly. It was doing this retest over here. At that time, pre-market, this thing was 106. So I just knew this was going to be a massive buy because JPM was going up, GS was going up, and American Express was also reported earnings. So I knew this was a massive buy. On the other side, the reason why I'm saying this is FAS tracks is the 3X financial, right? But the more speculative part of financial is DPST, which tracks the regional financial banks. And it just hit a capitulation price of $42. If we can get like a $60 bounce, right now 67, some bad news on China come back to 60, I'll probably buy here. This is a potential bear flag, but if we hold 60, that means it will be a forced breakdown, and we'll put in another lower high here, and I'll buy. Because the high is when the U.S. economy starts to get very euphoric. This thing can go back to 176, and that would be like a lot of percentages. So you can see how I'm taking some between. What'd you say?
The difference between the FAS and this DPST. DPST is regional, right?
Yeah, this one is regional. These are regional banks, so like smaller banks, so very very like vulnerable. Like it's a more speculative compared to FAS. FAS tracks like the major banks. It's just 3x of the major banks. So if in terms of safety, I'll pick FAS over DPST. But DPST is much of like I don't want to keep playing lotto earnings. I rather want to play lot of long-term plays that has hit capitulation. So example of a capitulation price was over here on this one. You see right here, it loses the major support. Everybody loses faith on it, reclaims and rips. So if this can reclaim over here, I think it rips too. Capitulation, reclaim, rip. Capitulation, reclaim, rip. Capitulation, reclaim.
So let me see
For the rip.
that again.
Fast? Okay, yeah. See it? Looks much cleaner. Highs, resistance, support, become support if I drew the line. 200 MA rehold. So if you can retest $100, 110, I like this. Like, I'd rather hold something like this than be buying, like, I don't know, Reggae or something, you know?
Yeah.
I'm
a definitely, as I said, I wanna get some exposure to the financial services.
Yeah, Friday XYZ took me by surprise. XYZ is square. I actually want to own SYZ too at 55. I didn't want to buy it at 47. But if you can see, resistance, trend line here, support. So sometimes you can boldly say Sterling might know the bottom. It's just that when I have the confidence to buy it, I need price action to confirm. So I normally don't buy it, not unless it's AVG or something. Because squares like Cash App, it always looks speculative to me. Because what if all the YNs decide to say we don't want to use Cash App anymore? I don't know. I don't really understand Cash App as a business model as to why they make money. So, yeah, it's always earnings calls for me. I need to really listen to that.
Yeah,
Cash App, what happened to it? What you want to say? Add to that.
No, I'm just saying, I don't know, because like when you look at all of those money transfers, it's a lot, right? And you got to think of how do you differentiate yourself from everybody else?
That is
There's
true.
not much of that.
Yeah, it's not much of that. And I'm looking at this ticker too called EME. Wall Street Trapper had it in his buy and hold. He had it in his buy and hold from last year, so it always stayed in my watch list to watch his energy play, and then industrial. And this thing really bottomed over here at $32 and $322. Right now it's $410. I think it's probably hitting the Bollinger Band high on the weekly. Damn, not yet. That means I could have still bought last week at 360. Like again, I say, any bad news from China coming again will give me a chance to buy on place like this that I've missed. This is something that you keep into your portfolio long term. Like if you control your mom's portfolio, your dad's portfolio, this is something that you buy because you forget about it, also forget about it, right? And then you let it rip. Like EME, it's a good company to listen to the earnings. You can check this out if they allow you to trade this. I really recommend you look at the earnings on this because why? It's breaking out the 821 on the monthly, and that part looks just like here. Rips to test the Bollinger Band high. I think we can get to the high again on this one. Very confident. It's just that the ticker is a bit pricey. I know you can afford it, so I'm putting you in a safer place. And if you ever considered Nike, I think a safer version of Nike would be Deckers. Deckers owns, I think, Uggs and stuff like that. I really like Deckers. Close to Bollinger Band low on the monthly. Have a doji. The upside of Deckers is 100% move from here, I think. Or is it 50%? I don't know. I gotta check. Close to 100%. This is another simply buy and hold and forget it. But this one, you're a bit exposed to Taiwan tariffs because, they don't manufacture in America, right? So the longer the tariffs stay, the longer this company can bleed off. But that's one thing to look at. Nancy Pelosi stock right here, Tim. AI healthcare play. I like it at 35, but we missed it. I wouldn't buy here. So 40, 35, long-term buy and hold. I really think that's really it. Boeing on the other side, China rejected the Boeing airplanes that was sent over recently because of American beef. But if Boeing can give me a retest of the 200 MA on the monthly, which is 154, I might set a DCA. So that's why it's in my priority over here, priority 2. See, this priority 2. It must be some good reason for me to buy this, but it's something that it's worth the watch. So it's in priority 2 for me. And then if we're talking about priorities, then you can't leave out Kathy Woods, right? You can see ARK Invest ARK K was just $37 at the start of this month. Right now it's 51. I don't know what percentage that is, but that's 30% of your money. I think one day Kathy Woods will rise from the ashes, so you don't want to ever downplay her. So that is after priority two, right? So that tells me we hit some crazy downtrend, which I expect maybe like SPY to hit maybe in the future, like in September or something, right? If we retest this, I was gonna put a new PT in SPY. I'm looking at 570. I think we hit 580, but 570 to be conservative. I think we would chop there and really make a significant lower low to like 456. And the reason why I'm saying that is in Stocks with Josh video, this one here. I think everybody should watch this video. Wait, which part of the chat am I? I can't find the video I put in here. Oh. This video, watch it. He really explained something and it really made sense to me. And I like that technical, right? This video. I'll react to it just to bump it. But I think we hit 580 and we go significantly lower in September. And that's when I'll be buying something like ARKK. I think we probably hit a recession in September. But that time,
I think probably sooner.
sooner? Yeah, one thing I'll use as a hedge for my BitX position would be SBIT, which is ultra short Bitcoin. So it's 2x to the downside when Bitcoin is going down. And right now it's hitting the all-time lows on this. You see right here? 860. It won't be bad for me to nibble here a little bit. One of my biggest fumbles in my my trading life right now is what's not buying SQQQ when it was over here. $26. I used to normally have buy orders for SQQQ at $30 because you can see right here. It's what they normally used to touch before it bounced. But we hit $24, $25, and I never, like, even if before I buy leaps on this, I would think that it would probably hit $30, $35. I never thought we'd ever go to 60, to be frank with you. So if we can get a retest over here at $30, I might start to dollar cost average into here as it goes lower. So here, if you check, let's say you buy at 30, right? The downside here is just 15% of your portfolio. You see what I'm saying? But the upside could be 90%. If Trump say, you know what, 90-day tariff done already hit. We didn't resolve anything. You know what I'm saying? So always keep at the back of your mind that you want to hedge your portfolio. Whenever I'm screaming hedge in the chat, maybe buy some SQQQ, man. We've seen enough when this went to $60. You know what I'm saying? So yeah. So that's why these two are here. SBIT for sure, and that, let me add the SQQQ on this so I don't actually forget about it. And then FNGO, if we ever get another China, right, pull back. FNGO is 2x max 7. FNGO is what used to be FNGU. But that has changed now because this one is like a targeted dates fund and the targeted dates already hit, so they changed the name to FNGO. And I think it's FNGA now. This is the 3x of it. The 3x costs more. They move the same. So if you could bought it here, I actually did buy FNGA, but then I lost patience and sold it. Because I bought it here at 314 and it went to 261. I'm like, alright, that's too much. Like now it's already back at 400. The highest of this is $700. So I don't know. I always say cash is king. That's why I'm buying positions that I'm actually going to be selling now. Because I know how it felt when everything dropped and I didn't have enough money to buy. So profit taking is something I'm doing my best to preach now. Buy things that you're going to sell. Don't hold everything, okay? I'll stop the recording now.